Well, forgot my GoPro at home, so I got my phone here. It might be a little bouncy, but I'm gonna bring this thing back to life, I guess, for the next couple of hopefully less than 6 months. But right now we're gonna try to get this thing started. I'm gonna try to take it home and do some cleaning on it, make it look a little better. And the clutch is a little weird on it. It's been weird since the very first YouTube video I made on this thing. So we're gonna probably pull the transmission out, figure out what's wrong with the clutch fork and the throwout bearing, and go from there, really. So we're gonna try to get this thing started and get it to the house. The clutch is it's almost like a button clutch. It's either all or nothing. So once I get taken off and started, I can probably float the gears all the way home, as long as I don't get stuck in any traffic, red lights or whatnot. But we're gonna make a little detour. The girlfriend wants a chocolate shake. She just had her tonsils removed, so we're gonna try to make a detour, try to get this thing home, and go from there. So stay tuned. Should be fun. Well, we got it all cleaned up, dried off, and yeah, I think I'm gonna pull it in the shop now that it's dried off, so it don't all drip water in my face. But it looks just like it did when I parked it. This truck's always cleaned up pretty good, besides the places it don't have paint. And if you're any familiar with the old body style Chevy, never has paint on it anyways, unless you paint it. So we are going to get in the shop, get this trans pulled, and we're gonna have to address that leak. Currently it doesn't have any rear back brakes. I guess when I backed it up here, I hit the brake one time, and I guess it was one time too many. At least it didn't blow out on my 15-20 mile drive here. So we're gonna get this thing pulled in the shop and on the lift and go from there. It's up in our teeth here. We can finally see what we got going on. We got a brake line right there, busted, and it's dripping all the way down to right here. And I've already actually replaced it once. You can see right there kinda is a new fitting, and I replaced it up there. So I guess it's time to replace it all the way from the front to the back, because I did this when we went to LS Fest, and it's probably time for new shocks. It's been sitting quite a while, and I also was 18 when I put this thing together for the first time, so we did have to take the traction bars off. Wasn't that big of a deal, but yeah, we're gonna pull this transmission out probably tomorrow. I'm gonna go inside and get dinner and whatnot, and we'll probably do it tomorrow. Shouldn't be that bad. Clamp there, clamp back there for the crossover pipe. This drive shaft shouldn't take very long. Full drive stuff, a little bit of wiring. Our leaking transfer case, it's leaked since day one. Rear drive shaft, cross member, bell housing bolts. This should be out a couple hours probably. So we'll probably start on that tomorrow, get that pulled out, see what's actually damaged in there, go get some parts. It's not like we gotta hurry up and get it all done real quick or anything. So we're not really in a rush, but we're gonna go through everything. We're gonna see what it looks like. If the clutch is really that bad, I might think about putting a different clutch in it, but it's always held great. It's only ever slipped a couple times when I was doing dirt drags in 4 low, and I revved it to 5,000 and dumped it, and it only slipped for a split second. Only reason why I knew it slipped is because I could smell it. I couldn't physically tell because the way the truck was performing because of it. But yeah, I probably won't put a clutch in it, because ideally I'd like to put a different transmission in it one day. So I hope one day soon. I've already got my eyes on it, and it should be pretty sweet to do. It's just a little expensive, and I'm hoping I can do it before too long, but I would rather have this stuff fixed. And I already have all the metal to do it. I just got to tear it down and start some body work. I got a brand new rust-free bed. I got a brand new tailgate. This is already the brand new bumper. That's literally a brand new smoothie chrome bumper from LMC truck. And this hitch is new. I literally just put that on there 2 years ago, literally right before I parked it. Actually, the last time this thing went to LS Fest was probably the last time it was really drove. The clutch had some problems shortly after that. But yeah, I'm ready to get some new metal in it. It's really kind of solid. Hole there, hole there. The doors are fine. The bed is rotten, of course. It don't look like it, but the bed's got holes behind all those panels. I've got brand new fenders for it. So the hood's already been replaced with a 2-inch cowl hood. The doors, like I said, are fine. So we might start some body work on this thing. I really don't want to start just yet because I don't really have the money for it, but if I don't start, I ain't never going to finish. So it might just be cut apart, sitting for a while, but I want it mobile so I can at least drive it here and there. And even if the cab corners and rockers are off of it and I got to set the bed back on it to drive it around, it's most likely going to sit inside either way. So, but I'm done talking. You'll see me tomorrow. We're going to get a transmission pulled out of this and go from there. just like that, we got the trans out. And, definitely see some minor damage with the throwout bearing. Looks like that's been wearing a little funny on it. I don't know if you can see the texture of that. The bearing still actually spins and doesn't growl or anything, but you can tell it's been hot. It does have some play, but you see that's not round anymore. It's got those two thingies messed up with it. Well, let me set this up and see if I can kind of show you guys. So I think I've done this once before already, and I've done this bearing once before, and I think I've used a 6-liter bearing instead of the actual old body style truck bearing, and I think that's where the problem goes wrong, because this is way loose, and this spring clamp, I guess you can call it, it's supposed to hold that bearing in there and be a lot more smooth as this pivots. And well, I think what it's doing is it's doing this as it's pushing all the way in, out, and it's not sitting where it's supposed to as it rocks. So it's sitting out like this to reach the extra distance, and that's where the clutch, if you've seen it, it's like sticking, it gets stuck like right here, and then all of a sudden it'll go boom, clutch engaged. So I think I just need to get maybe a new, I don't think the fork's bad, but I do know the bearing's bad. So I guess I'm gonna try to run to Napa, because that's where all this stuff is from. I put a Luke clutch from Napa. Literally, they said, well, it's a decent clutch, and it's stock replacement. They use it in diesels, and I ain't never really had a problem with it. It does show some clutch dust, which is, it's got 60-something thousand miles on it, and I have beat this thing. Like, nothing has been easy on it. Limiter burnouts, 6,800 RPM limiter burnouts multiple times through another set of tires and almost the whole set of these tires, front and rears. And I've done dirt drags with this truck. Like, you're talking 4 low, launching at 4,000 RPM in third gear, shifting 3 to 4. And I put one of these in it. It's hauled multiple trailers back and forth. This thing's hauled a trailer to LS Fest 3 years in a row, with a 2010 Camaro that weighs 4,500 pounds probably, with a 2,000 pound trailer. So this thing hauls 6,000-7,000 pounds pretty well regularly, and you can't really go wrong with what this setup is here. It does great. The transmission is, I paid $400 for this thing when I was 17 years old, because the NV4500 took a crap. And well, the drive shaft says 2019, so I'd have been 18 years old, because I didn't turn 19 until May of that year. So this thing's been together a while. I swapped it at 193,000 miles. It's got 254 or 53 on it right now. So you're talking 60+ thousand miles of wear and tear, beating the brakes off this thing. I mean, it's been used and abused, so that's pretty good. I think I'm going to keep running this clutch for a little while, because I got some other plans with different transmissions, maybe to shift a little faster. And I honestly just want the clutch to work so it's drivable, so I can move it around, drive it if I need to, and get it ready for the paint and body work that needs to be done, so it can be moved in and out of the shop wherever we got to put it to get the body work done. So that's the goal. I'm going to run and get some parts. We're going to see if we can get some new stuff that might work. It might be a day or so, but this is the time I had to work on it. So the pilot bearing's good in there. I know that for a fact. The clutch looks all right. I'm not going to stress on it. And yeah, we're going to get a new throwout bearing. Put this back together. They do make a new pilot ball. You just got to pull the bell housing off, put a new pilot ball and pilot pin back in there. And yeah, we're going to get to it. Well, we're down on the ground. I have pulled it forward. I have pulled it backwards. I have pulled it forward. I have went backwards. And I make sure the lights are working. I blew that brake line, like I said, but I pinched it off and bent it so it's no longer leaking any more fluid. So we got front brakes, and that's about it. And we're gonna take this thing for a little test drive and test it. So far the clutch is way far down there because of course it's at its last sparing inch to just decompress the clutch. So we got a little bit of life left in it, I think. It still grips just fine, but I don't know how long we're gonna be able to push it in and out. So we're gonna take it for a little test drive. It is still daylight, so I did this pretty quick. I think I only have an hour and a half possibly putting it back together. So maybe this whole deal, maybe 4 hours total. So yeah, we're gonna take this thing for a little test drive and see how it does. So good. Like I said, the clutch is just pretty close to the floor because of course everything's getting wore out, but I think it's back in business, and we'll see how long it lasts this time. We got 62,000 miles on this exact clutch. We just put basically a new shift fork and or a clutch fork and a clutch release bearing and a pivot pin or a clutch fork pivot ball, and yeah, other than that, that's about all that's fixed it so far. So I'm gonna stop, take a little video, and probably this will be where we end off this video. So thanks for watching, and yeah, Sound Cab's back, baby.